Man, yo, if this was the old days.
Yeah, now, well, the thing about the old days, they the old days.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to make way for the new generation of hoops, and who better to wake everyone up than the Oklahoma City Thunder, with the team being first in the Western Conference, having an average age of under 24 years old, placing them as the second youngest in the association, having an MVP level leader, and complementary pieces that fit perfect. This team looks to be destined for greatness for many years to come. But how does this even happen? I mean, how do you come up on a 25-year-old shifty bucket who can also clamp up on defense? How does the team attain a 7-1 efficient shot blocking big at the second overall pick? How does a team get an extremely versatile big guard who can clamp down or yam on your favorite defender? How the hell do they have such a deep bench with 1,000 first overall draft picks? Being the academic weapon I am, let me answer my own questions through rigorous research to find out. How on God's green earth did we let the Oklahoma City Thunder get so damn powerful? Before we get deep in the sauce,
so if you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
Make sure to tombstone pile driver the like button, go ham on the subscribe button, and turn on those post notifications. Y'all made 1,000 look easy. Road to 5K starts now. Let's take it back to the summer of 2019. Dash was a senior in high school. The Toronto Raptors had just won their franchise's first championship. The masterpiece that is Igor just dropped. COVID wasn't really a thing. And while I'm laying in bed after basketball practice, the bombshell goes off. July 6th, Paul George is traded to the Los Angeles Clippers for, and get ready for this, Clippers 2026 first round pick, Clippers 2025 first round pick swap, Heat's 2025 first round pick, Clippers 2024 first round pick, Clippers 2023 first round swap, Clippers 2022 first round pick, Miami Heat 2021 first round pick, Danilo Gallinari, and last but not least, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nothing crazy, but in all reality, this was an absolute haul that sparked what I think will be a future powerhouse in the league for years to come. Let's go ahead and start with the A5 Wagyu steak of this buffet, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. While I was one of the guys who thought Shai was good on the Clippers, if you thought he was going to be a top 3 player in the league at any point, you're pulling a LeBron James.
Before the game even started, when I seen, I said he was probably going to score 70 tonight. I don't know what made me say that, and my friends was with me, and they was like, okay. So when he got to like 70, I was like, well, he might as well go for 80 now. So, I mean,
averaging about 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.7 stocks, Shai was known as a guy who could have phenomenal defensive potential and maybe a high-end role player, or potentially a third or second option for a decent team. He got real playing time in the playoffs for that Clippers team, though, who was able to steal 2 games from one of the best teams of all time, the 2019 Golden State Warriors. Averaging 13, 3, and 3 on pretty good efficiency for the 20-year-old with a great assist-to-turnover ratio of 3-1, showing he could handle himself in big moments. So when it was time to get some real burn for the OKC team, he only kept it going. Starting off the 2019-2020 season, Shai had the honor of being mentored by the spokesman of State Farm, Cliff Paul. This squad went into the season having a 0.2% chance of making it in the playoffs.
It became personal with me.
Having obviously no serious expectations of making any kind of noise this year, the Oklahoma City Thunder played as a free squad, giving their newly acquired player the scoring reins and allowing him to show what he could do in a season where he's a starter and looked at to be the main scoring option. With a starting lineup of CP3, SGA, Dennis, I think I'll turn down $84 million Schroeder, Danilo Gallinari, and Steven Adams, this team actually went on a tear. Running through teams all of 2019 and the first 3 months of 2020, the squad ended their run before Rudy Gobert did that one thing. With a record of 40-24, and while it was evident that Chris Paul effect was working in this case, it was also with the help of the shifty shooting guard, 21-year-old Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And going into the bubble, this team remembered the amount of doubt they had from everyone before this season had started. So they decided to turn it up at Disneyland. Not turn up at Disneyland, but to turn it up. You know what I mean. Going 4-4 against some of the hottest teams in the league, the Thunder defied the odds and had solidified themselves as the 5th seed in a stacked Western Conference that had teams like the Lakers and go out there and do your job.
I don't have any message for my teammates. Just go out and do your job.
That stacked Clippers team we just talked about earlier, the Nuggets, Harden's Rockets, D. Mitch and Corona Gobert on the Jazz, and Dame's Blazers. While this was a semi-magical run, it unfortunately ended in a 7-game series loss to Harden and his antics, leaving fans wanting more of this OKC team and some more performances like Shai's, where he averaged 16, 5, and 4. Still no signs of being any kind of best player in the league talks. So again, how did we get here? Fast forward into the very short offseason where Chris Paul gets traded to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Kelly, holy shit, I just got hit by a car, Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Jaylen LeCue, and a first-round pick. They also got rid of Billy Donovan and promoted assistant coach Mark Daigneault to the head coaching position, really just shuffling the deck here. This was OKC going into full rebuild mode and actually giving SGA the full reins to take over the squad. And it went okay. Shai got his numbers up with his usage rate obviously skyrocketing, but the front office saw his potential and was super careful with not damaging their goods. And the reason I say this is because OKC was quick to sit Shai games for even the most minor nicks and knacks that he suffered to ensure that their diamond wasn't put in harm's way. In this 2020 to 2021 season, the man played only 35 games, never suffering a serious injury throughout the 82-game season. This saw the team go 22-50, finishing second worst in their conference, using this as a building block year to help the organization figure out their direction. And the next year was kind of the same. With their dog water record last year, it earned them the 6th pick in the draft, which turned out to be Josh Giddey. And Josh Giddey, he had a good rookie season, and it was just a great talent addition to put on the squad, along a 16th overall pick in Trey Mann and a sleeper pick in the 2nd round where they got Aaron Wiggins. This 21-22 team kind of did a repeat of last year and ended up finishing 25-58 after once again shelving SGA after a great season where he increased his stats in almost every major category. But again, Sam Presti in the front office was fucking with the vision that Shai brought. They had to see what other pieces would work with a dog like him. So it seemed Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, and Aaron Wiggins had made the cut. It was time to start ramping up a bit. And what better time to do that after getting maybe the steal of the 2022 draft with Jaylen Williams. No, not that one. I like him too, but I was talking about J-Dub. Now I stand on the hill that J-Dub is the 3rd best player in the draft, and the only people ahead of him is the Orlando Magic's Paolo Banchero and the 2nd overall pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder's very own Chet Holmgren. Now I feel like people obviously remember Chet didn't play his rookie year in the league, but do you guys remember how he got hurt? Bro stepped on LeBron's foot in an offseason game. So imagine this team could have made an even bigger run in the 22-23 year, but it's working out regardless. But the main story about this season is Shai absolutely exploded on the map at 24 years old this season. Being able to play in 68 games, the man boosted his stats from 24.5 points to 31.5. Still getting his smooth 5.5 assists and 5 rebounds, but now he was shooting at over a 50% clip from the field, finally showing us his true superpowers. And while the flashes from Shai, J-Dub, and Giddey was enough to get them in that 10th seed play-in spot, they were still missing a big 5 at the position, throwing other Jaylen Williams into the fire most nights, getting cooked by dudes who were actually 7 feet tall, and they stood no match for the more competitive teams. And while I say that, in the moment they did have us in the first half.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
By beating the 9th-seeded Pelicans in their first play-in matchup, but going up against maybe the worst possible matchup, which was the Minnesota Timberwolves. Straight up just a beastly team that had 2 7-footers, abused their size aspect that the Oklahoma City Thunder was lacking. Yeah, buddy! Now we're in the current NBA season where a lot of us, dumbass Dash included, but you guys are still a year away. Shoot, if you take this year's team and put them in the league last year, I think they could be worthy of an 8th seed. Still didn't know if the Thunder had it like that to make themselves known in this crazy, talented West. And boy, oh boy, did they prove us wrong. Chet Holmgren went ahead and plugged in the only missing hole from the group. They needed a big who could protect the rim and stretch out the floor, and looking through my notes, yep. He does all that shit. Players all around the roster making leaps of improvement. Look to really just love being around each other, can finish out clutch games, trust Mark Daigneault to get them to the finish line. It's It's honestly a thing of beauty to watch. And it's earned them a crazy high jump in the standings and the, I'm gonna use the word, I'm sorry, aura that shows people they are one team that shouldn't be played with. And I would hate to be a squad that has to go up against them in the playoffs. So back to our question, how did the Oklahoma City Thunder get here? By drafting extremely well, trusting their coach who's probably gonna win Coach of the Year, being patient with their big time talent, and creating a culture where guys are locked in with each other. This is the very simple way of explaining it, and it's much harder done than said. But NBA teams around the league, take notes. Looking at you, Detroit and Washington. But thank you so much for watching, Dashin' Hoopers. Do you guys think that this Thunder team has a chance of making it deep in the playoffs this year? Western Conference Finals? The NBA Finals? Winning it all? You let me know down in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, y'all have a phenomenal rest of your day.